Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. If you've been paying attention, you know that Cipha is in Kuwait right now.
Kuwait, wow.
Wait, is that? No. That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. I'm just saying I'm just giving him props for doing a show internationally. Here we go. How about this? This is better, more appropriate.
There you go.
So I was like, what could be an entertaining episode for the patrons that is like the least like work and the most just like having a good time? And I texted Smoke DZA and said, will you just jump on one app with me? And he said, yeah. And I said, well, this will be very easy. And also, I think, have you ever been on one app once way back in the day?
Yeah, maybe like once or twice.
But we're talking about a while back.
Like over 10 years ago back.
Let's see if it pops up on Google. Smoke DZA on one app, April 10th, 2014.
See?
A lifetime ago. Oh, and then you and Pete Rock came up.
Yes, we did.
At some point.
We did. That was like a random drive-by.
By the way, you need to listen to the random episode of Juan Ep when me and Pete Rock got into it in comments on Instagram, and then when I reached out to him, he pretended like it wasn't him.
It was,
and we all know it was him, and we love him so much that we don't care. No, I don't care. It's fine, but like it was you. I know it was you. He was like, "Nah, new phone."
We definitely spoke about it.
Yeah, I hit you. I definitely hit you. Like, yo, what are you seeing? What's going on
Yo, what is this? I said, yo, just look, man. It's just one of those days, man. It's one of those days. Just leave him alone.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, well, you know what? There are certain people I just don't. You just can't hold everyone to the same things because they've given you other contributions in your life that have immense value.
Absolutely.
Okay. Pete has given immense value to my life, or things of immense value. Yeah, and you too. I mean, wait, do you guys do two?
Plaque on the wall for Pete Rock's contribution to my life.
Don't Smoke Rock?
For Don't Smoke Rock.
Yeah, you got some joints. Not to mention you have me on an interlude, which is Mage.
I
mean, let's talk about it.
Yeah, you definitely. That's crazy. You definitely are on the interlude, like randomly. I'm like,
yeah. What's going on? How are you?
I feel great, bro. I'm happy. I'm happy to be here on One Up. Am I allowed to do my gimmick on this? Is this like
you mean Smoke?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do a lot of shows together, bro. Sometimes I'm not allowed to do my gimmick.
You're at home.
Make sure.
I don't care. At this point in life, I can't think that one of like my commercial jobs would be upset because I had a conversation with someone while they were getting high. That doesn't seem even possible anymore, does it?
I mean, it doesn't, but just gotta.
Do they on YouTube? They don't care about people smoking weed on YouTube.
What? They do far worse.
Yeah, there's people doing crazy things on YouTube. So no, you can live the gimmick. By the way, I the pictures, the few pictures that exist of Smokey at my wedding, I maintain that you may have been the third happiest person at the wedding.
I was.
Yo,
it was you, it was Natalie, and it was me.
Yo, Smokey was lit. Like, you just look so happy. Like, you looked like you were living in the perfect state of drunkenness at that wedding.
Listen, Pete, for one, best wedding I've ever been to.
I appreciate that. You texted me that the next day, and I really appreciate that.
Best wedding I've ever been to. I'm not even a wedding guy. I was just sitting here telling my friends, don't invite me to your weddings because I don't want to go. just because I know it's not going to top your wedding, and I just too much hassle for me, right? So then, two, I was drink DZA that day because MVP just kept feeding me drinks. Next thing I know, I'm on the dance floor. I don't know what's going on. We're just telling jokes. Jim Jones comes through. He does an impromptu performance. I'm like, holy shit, where am I? The fool was bussing. We did the gimmick upstairs.
You still did the gimmick on the roof, though, right?
Right. We did the gimmick as soon as the ceremony was over. We found a little calm spot and gimmicked off. Yeah. It was amazing. I was the leader of the pack. I had a high profile celebrity fucking bunch to do the gimmick with. And
By the way,
and it was a great time, man. And then I got to see Nick too. Me and Nick got, Nick, your brother's my brother. It was a good time. It was so much family in there. I had a great
yeah,
time.
you had a lot of family in there. You had a lot of family. I'm like,
Cass, Marissa, everybody.
yeah.
Everybody was in there. It's a good time.
Now I'm guessing you've known Amber since all the way back in the day when her and Wiz were together, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, when did you first start hanging around Wiz? The second y'all both came out, like 09, 10?
Yeah, about 08, 09. Like college tour Wiz. Like when we was fucking when Crit was opening for him and we was doing South by Southwest, and it was a time. It was a time. This is Wiz with the Caesar.
How did you that's Wiz with the Caesar, I forgot. How did you get to know Wiz?
The internet, the most powerful place in the world.
So this is big blog era talk right now.
Big blog era talk.
Yeah.
The internet, the most powerful place in the world, and having mutual friends, because the conduit, Spitter, both our brothers.
Oh, of course.
So just being the three amigos of the Bud lane. We just
So if there was to be one person responsible, would it be likely Currency?
yeah. It would definitely be Currency. Currency was the conduit in between.
Was Currency your first internet rap friend?
You want to know something, Pete? I didn't meet Currency on the internet.
How'd you meet Currency?
I met Currency through Mickey Fax when they did the Double XL cover in 08. I met Currency when Currency smoked blunts. This is how long I've known Currency.
Oh, that's a long time ago.
A long time ago. And we did like a random record where it was me, Currency, Mickey Fax, Corey Guns, and Not Kim. And I was on the hook, like, because Mick was always trying to find a way to like get me on a record or get me inside the door. And that was my first introduction to Spitter. And then when DD 172 started to bubble, I found my way over there, and that's when we.
Oh yeah, you were over there with Dame and them.
That's when the DX started, the Generation X. Me and Spitter on our shit. So my first internet rap friend. I don't even know. Who was my first internet rap friend?
Bro, you have so many people that you. Is there anyone you didn't know from the freshman cover era?
From the
basically that whole first many of them.
Man, I knew all of them. Me and Nip came up from our allegiance in cinematic with Johnny. I knew Nip since 06.
Nip was 2010 with Wiz. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah. And then Corey Guns, Mickey, Blue, Wale,
Asher,
who was on like my first big internet record.
Charles Hamilton,
Currency,
B.O.B.,
Kid Cudi.
Remember Pill?
Wow, the first MMG artist.
Let's see.
Wasn't Donis on that cover?
Donis, I think, had a cover. Yup. Yeah. Donis had a cover.
Everybody had a cover but me, P. Like,
no, you never got
every one of my friends got a cover but me. I was like, I don't know. Does that make me like the indie darling? Am I like
that's
one of these guys?
It's so funny though. Isn't life crazy? Because if you would really think about it, there are a lot of people who became superstars off the cover. Not going to sit here and deny that. Like, not that that's why, but it led to that.
For sure.
But then there are a lot of people who are not in the music game anymore who were on the cover.
It put an expiration date on a lot of people.
Whereas you didn't become a pop star, but you've gotten to. I'll just put it this way: if we were to look at who ended up where, and let's include you in the cover group, you ended up in a pretty good situation.
I agree.
And I'm sure at the time there were moments where it was probably annoying. I mean, I imagine if I were you, oh my God, I would have been storming about it for 5 years.
It took me, bro. If anybody really paid attention to the mood of my music, it changed
Well, around the time of the cover.
around. Yeah, like all those snubs. I just like it got more aggressive, and then I just dropped the weed gimmick for a second. I didn't drop it like personally, but I dropped making weed records per se because I felt like I wasn't being acknowledged as a true MC because I was being pigeonholed to this
Oh.
whatever it is that they want to hold me to. So I got serious and I kind of like lost the fun in what I was doing to make me, smoke DZA, and I had to like reroute that because I was so angry. But you would really have to notice the anger in my music to know how angry I was about being a snub. But you know how
Well,
that shit.
you know what's crazy? Hold on. Matt got one. Matt got it in 2011.
Matt got one. Joey, Crit,
Yellow
every one
Wolf,
of my friends.
Kendrick. I'm looking at different ones.
Schoolboy,
Yeah, Q got one. Diggy Simmons, Lil Twist, of course. Fred the God.
peace to Fred the
Iggy,
God. God
Iggy,
bless.
Iggy got one.
He got one.
Danny got one.
Meek,
Macklemore,
Meek was on there.
Meek, MGK. Listen, a lot of people became stars in different ways, but a
A
lot of
lot of
people,
superstars on there.
a lot of superstars and a lot of not.
Yeah.
But it's funny. I was in Pittsburgh this weekend, and so I wanted to like drive around just listen to Mac. I never really spent time with Macadelic, and people rave about Macadelic, and so I listened to Macadelic. Yo, Mac talks a lot. Mac was tight about a bunch of people back then snubbing him. I forget I don't know if it was Pitchfork. Was it Pitchfork that he really didn't fuck with?
Yo, bro, let me tell you, none of us fuck with Pitchfork in that era. Some way down the line, because I just got a review from Pitchfork the other day, and they was like, they said I have the top 8 albums to listen to for 2023, and I'm like, wait a second, is this the same Pitchfork? I asked my homie, I'm like, do they still slay people? He was like, I don't
Definitely
know.
do.
I'm like, well, from this article, it looks like they're kind of like giving grace to MCs because they usually shitted on us. So I felt Mac on that, but you know, I guess every one of us in every level we get to, we start feeling like we're snubbed to some sort, I guess. But I felt like Mac was getting his share. I still feel like he was way more bigger than he was for sure. Like I was in the studio with him when he started to become Larry Fisherman. That was like a whole different person. Like this guy made beats, like, and they were good. Like I was requesting him to send me beat packs, and he was. So he was just a
So at
phenomenal.
first, how good did you think he was at first when you just got to know him off the raps and him being a sweet kid who was just hanging out?
My first internet friend, Mac Miller.
Really?
Yes.
You guys were Twitter friends first.
We was Twitter friends first. The first person Mac Miller saw when he came to New York City was Smoke DZA.
Wow.
That's when we did the record Always Been. He drove from Pittsburgh with Arthur Pitt. Shout out to Arthur Pitt.
Artie, what up?
Right? And we met, hit it off immediately, knocked that record out on the spot, and then went to Prohibit. Shout out to Chase, Infinite, Curtains. He was
Okay.
there at the time, and we shot the video there. And I felt like he was a student of rap. The first time I met him, he told me his favorite rapper was Big L. I was like, what? How do you know? Because he was younger than me, so I didn't think somebody like
Didn't Mac
him
have a
would say
big
Big
L
L was
tat?
my favorite rapper. That was crazy.
I think Mac had a big L tattoo.
He really, really, really loved Big L. Like we sat there and rapped Big L Ebonics together. So Mac Miller was a student of the
So
game.
So it's not that at first when he was first rapping, you knew he was that nice. You just thought he was good, and he respected the game big time, and was just a fun kid.
It was that. It was looking at. I think he had dropped Kids at that time,
Yeah, probably.
and on World Star. I think he had like 1 million views on his video or some shit like that. And I was like, who the fuck is this kid? Like, and he from Pittsburgh? But I always thought he was a good rapper though, to be honest. Like I never he actually got way better. He superseded the first time I met him. But I always thought he was a good rapper. Like his shit was on point. He was a great performer. Like
I did not know early on. I just couldn't tell whether he was very good or not. Like I thought he was pretty good. Um,
I think I felt how you felt.
yo, look
I
how
felt
young
that way
he is.
about Asher Roth. I didn't feel that way about Mac.
Oh, I
I
think I felt the
was
same way about both of them. I just hated on white boys. Let's be honest.
all right. That's why I love you. I think I hated on him too, and I think he broke the mold for me. And then fast forward, Jack Harlow's doing the same thing. But
Bro, nah, I met him young. I don't think he was this.
his first time in New York, bro. Oh, that's Bodega Bands too.
Yeah, a little bit of kush, break it down, sprinkle it in the joint shit. The type of stoner who be late for his appointments. Fresh white crest shit, good, festive, infest the internet. Now my shit congested. Got stupid flow, musically amazing. Let it out like water, so I'm fluid with the cadence. New York drove up, fluid, took a train in. Hit smoke when I got here, we blazing. Smoke weed and maintaining most of it.
Bro.
That he literally said his travel to get to me first time in New York. I love this kid, man. It's hard to even watch it because I still can't believe he's not here.
Bro, I like keep loving him more as time goes on. You know what I mean? Like it's been a really interesting like mourning process because I listen to him more because I skip things like y'all put out. So I've skipped your shit. Like you guys put out so much. You guys are similar in that way. Like it's a ton of fucking music.
It'll
like
fall through the cracks for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. You guys may have a few closest friends who hear everything you do, but like you make a lot of fucking music. And at that time, prior to like the last few years, that first few years, he was dropping. Like it was just mixtapes and lots of shit. So a lot fell through the cracks. And then really it was Divine Feminine that made me go like, oh, no, that's not true. When he found Larry Fisherman and he put out the watching movies with the sound off shit, that was definitely like, oh, okay, he's on some shit. But I still hadn't gone back. Like I don't think I've heard this record, bro. I don't think I've heard this record. And like I just am I don't know if you feel this way, and I know unfortunately, you know, you've suffered a lot of losses within hip hop. We all have, sadly. I just like feel his presence so much when I listen to him. Like and I just remember how much I loved spending time with him. He was such a fucking great person.
Bro, I don't know what he was better at, being a person, a great person, or a great rapper. Like he was like, yo, bro. I remember, I think it was, fuck, what was it? Was it Easter? It was some holiday that we had Rock the Bells at the time, and everybody was away from their families, and was a little frustrated at the time because I think this is like the end of Rock the Bells at the era that we know it to be. I think you know something wasn't going right, and I ran into Mac on Fairfax shooting a video with Chuck English because that's what LA was at the time. Like you could just walk Fairfax and you might run into Tyler, you might run into Earl, you'll run into whoever it is that was out there. And Mac and Chuck was shooting this video, and Mac is like, yo, what the fuck are you doing here? And I'm like, yo, I just did Rock the Bells. Da, 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 da. He's like, when you leaving? I'm like, man, we supposed to be leaving on Monday. I don't even know where I'm going to go. He's like, what you mean you don't know where you're going to go? You coming to my house. I had 3 friends. We all stayed at Mac's crib.
This is the big house in Studio City?
The studio, yep.
Yeah.
We fucking recorded a gang of records. I probably stayed there for like 2 days. Fucking ran in his refrigerator, was just living a life, and he just didn't give a fuck. He was just walking around barefoot. So Mac was an ill motherfucker, man. He was generous as fuck. You know what I mean? And for his friends, he will always just.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this right now. Yo, when I judge everything, musical contribution, personality, and most importantly, understanding of their position and giving back to support others, I will go ahead and crown Mac Miller the greatest white boy ever in history of hip hop.
Oh, agreed. I don't give a fuck what nobody say because I'm pretty sure people will argue was down with that. But agreed. I couldn't agree with you anymore with that, bro. I promise you.
Yo, this dude, when you go through the list of people who he put on, who got their first chance to rock because Mac was like, yo, come out on my tour. Because he understood the sort of influence that he had, and he knew, he was so well aware that it wasn't just his talent, but his whiteness was also getting him in rooms and in front of people. All he did was put on black artists. All he did was be like, you're going to open, you're going to get on stage, you're going to get on stage, you're going to get on stage. And people blew the fuck up off of it.
Vince, I remember Joey was on.
Rhapsody said her first tour. Rhapsody. He helped SZA from the very beginning. Like, Schoolboy Q, everybody, Earl. Oh, I mean, Earl. Like everybody, whether it was putting them on a show or helping them find their footing musically or, whatever it was, he just gave and gave and gave. Not to mention his house became like such a thing in LA for a while where people were just
rap camp. It was the second rap camp because the first one is Alchemist, and then
right.
You had Alchemist and you had Mac.
Yeah, I guess Alchemist would be the other white boy in the conversation.
I didn't even think about that.
Another one. Al's a
white.
He's a
legendary producer to me, though.
Yeah, exactly. And it's sort of a different circumstance, but Mac is just what a generous soul. And then by the time he got to Swimming in Circles, I'm like, oh, this guy, I've said this many times, I'll say it again. He wouldn't have won the Grammy for Best Rap Album. He was one day going to just win Album of the Year. That's what he was going to win one day. In fact, I would argue Swimming or Circles probably should have already won one. I think Circles is fucking the greatest. But Vince told me the best story. I'm sure he said it before, so I don't think I'm speaking out of school, but Vince was like, and I apologize if I said it before on the podcast, but Vince said he was hanging out at Mac's house. This is when he was still very much like in Long Beach and not really believing that music stuff could happen. And he hung out with Mac, and every time he had an excuse to not do something, Mac would just take away the excuse. He'd be like, I don't have a place to record. He's like, you can record here. He's like, I don't have a way to get there. He's like, I'll pick you up. Like, he would not stop until Vince would just come over and work. Like it's so yeah, I spent a lot of time thinking about it. Did you always stay in touch with him over the years? Y'all went in and out?
Always. That was my guy. I think we all have horrible ways of staying in touch because of the internet. So we feel like we're in touch because we see what each other is posting.
Yeah, true.
But we would always like randomly shoot a text, or he'll like quote one of my bars or some random shit. Like the illest shit, my last interaction with him, Don't Smoke Rap. I didn't know that he was on the record. Like him and Pete was like trying to surprise me. Like that was like the last record on Don't Smoke Rap until then. And I think I still got the Twitter DM. I'm gonna look for it and send it to you. And I was just so like, cause he was doing his shit. I think he might have been working on one of those albums.
It should have been. He probably was working on both of them, right?
Yeah, and he was just like, nah, I had to do this. This is too legendary, bro. Like, do you like it? I'm like, I love it. Like, so he was just he was a rap savant, man. He was just somebody that just enjoyed music. There you go. Until then.
God put this here for me, yeah, you. Take it. Let's stimulate your mind. Shit. That's it.
Right. facts remain. Attack your lane. These bastards lame.
Is Mac last verse?
Last verse.
Just roll the half a thing. Happens. Back to the drawing board. Back to the start of the board game. Please restart the score. Shit, start a war. You softer than the carpet floor. Fucking with a carnivore. Heart is frozen as the Arctic Ocean. Bring a shark to shore. Dick in their jaws. I give it wood like a carpenter. Jesus in his modern form. Modern form.
Best skit ever, bro. I was when I got to Pittsburgh the other day, I was so happy because I hadn't been there since his family had like a service that they asked me to do something at in 2018, right after, like a month after he passed, and that was the last time I was in Pittsburgh. So I hadn't felt Pittsburgh's energy at all since then. And I was there for 15 minutes. I was in 2 different places and heard Mac playing in both places I was. That shit made me so happy. I said to this lady was cutting my hair. A sort of how do I say this delicately? A sort of like butch lady was cutting my hair. And Mac came on or something. I said something about Mac, and she was like, "Oh, is he a friend of yours?" I said, "Yeah, I'm in music, blah blah blah." And I was like, "Yeah, Pittsburgh seems to like really still fuck with him, huh?" And she was like, "Well," and she stood back and like she had like shorts to her knee or whatever, and she like lifted her shorts up at her knee, and on across her legs had most dope. I was like, "Oh, people really don't like." Nah, Mac is for real in Pittsburgh. Like that. Real. Nah, that's forever. I think he will be just forever a thing. You know what I mean? And you were super tight with Nip too, right? Man. Another one of the greatest dudes ever.
Man, I miss that dude. That was man. That was my dog, man. Me and Nip did a lot of music, spent a lot of time together. I seen Nip transform from the kid from the 60s to Nipsey Hussle. Like it was probably, he transformed as far as he always was a smart dude. Like that was just, he was always reading books. He was always giving gems since I've known him. So I'm glad that the world got to see that. It's just unfortunate how they got to see it. I think they was just starting to like appreciate him while he was here, because he went through like a lot of shit to even, from getting dropped from Epic at the time to like going through that like rap perjury where it's like trying to figure it out to figuring it out for real at one of the highest levels that we can see. And the untimely demise is just, we got robbed of somebody that was.
It's so crazy. I always think about this because he just got it for a second. Like he really just got known and popping right before he passed in a national way.
Literally, like.
Is this your first record together?
Nah.
This is later?
That's way later. I think our first record together was, look at this. It's the video for it. You'll love this.
Oh, where is it? What is it?
It's called Black Superman. That's our first video we did together.
Oh, I can't wait. This is fucking...
Right there. The third one. Nope.
No, because that was... Oh, y'all rapped on this shit? This?
Yep, there, right there. This is the Smoke and Numbers era.
Yeah, man. That GED shit, you feel me? And I am the one and only international Nino. Getting every dollar higher. Yo, it's that X-Borough, too thorough, a block away from Melrose. Getting stuck like...
I don't think I know the Smoke and Numbers era, bro.
Nah, this is even... As a Smoke DZA historian, because you are the first person to ever play me on the radio.
I should know this?
You should know this.
I don't remember this.
Play it from the Nipsey verse.
Which is he second?
Right there, yeah. Nipsey goes second, I go last.
Hey, Hutch, man, they deflated your mama house, man. I don't know what they got broke, man. They looking for us, man. Call me on Peach's house.
Man, check this out, homie.
Wow.
Look, it's 10 stacks on my neck and 20 more on my Brody shit. I'm self-made. Ain't no ever throw me shit. I'm sorry on enemies, I'm watching who I'm rolling with. That 40 on me like a fucking Motorola clip. Shit, I feel like a million when I'm four-wheeling. That 745 parked in front of your building. That black on the jeans, Gucci low, and my gold killing. I got a kilo on my neck, I'm a go-getter. See what you looking at? Now that's my old bitch. Look, chest moves, my next moves to get more business. Look, I promise I'll be on my tip till my toes give it. I'ma always shine, I'll never let my glow blemish. I hear you talking, but fuck what you just know it's real, demonstrate. No, it's real cause I illustrate that feeling of a young hood when he getting cake. And I'm blocks and gauges putting faces on the newspaper. I can't get caught for old crimes and catch new cases. Blocks invaded, spot raids, just a few made it. Homies in the holding tank with no shoelaces. Back on the streets, I'm rolling weed and see-through paper. Dipping down the shore, S-type with the blue paint. Popping tops off bottles with the gold label. It's pretty good to say I dropped out the 10th grade. I'm better than ever. This rap shit is Nathan. It's for my in the county on the main line.
Hey, it's dedicated to my Mr. J song, you know what I'm saying? Your time, they don't let no time do it. You already know. Keep it on the right body, yo, neighborhood shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yo,
This is
y'all
the
are
first
so
iPhone. The first iPhone came out this time.
y'all are so young. This is crazy. He still hasn't even found his voice. That's not even really Nipsey's voice.
Literally, I think we all found our voices. I hated
Sometime
my voice this time around.
New York comes up, niggas smoke on that shit. I'm fucking with my Harlem, my Brooklyn, my hometown. Hey, smoke all of these niggas, man.
Break bread like a Hanukkah. GED's my moniker.
Already with the Jewish reference as soon as I step in.
Early.
Early.
Like it's Hanukkah.
Hood, I'm okay. Still my shit. I'm coming at you like OJ in broad day. Coming with them fists.
Yo, if I heard this playing somewhere on like Shade 45, I
would
wouldn't
not
know
know
it
it
was
was me.
either of you. I swear I wouldn't know it was either.
Dressed in all black, and it ain't for the Genesis. Bringing extra clips, finna catch a lick. Hit the connect spot, left with like half a brick. Act as if my guys ain't.
You still have that chain?
Ah, man. I don't even know where that chain is at.
Hard, homie, we ain't petty, we
Baggy
ain't
chain era was bad.
we rob. Hit the ER when we pull that heat guard. First they hit a click clack, then they get his shit back. Take your jewels and be flossing with it. 9/11 kid, we run our own the Porsche clinic, huh? Got the 40 on my
God, Gangsta Dizzle. Jeez, he's busting
Yeah,
cat.
man. This is GED DZA, man. Me and Nip had a group. Me, Nip, Numbers, Question, Den 10, Bodega Bams. It was called GED. And this is that era.
Wow.
40 waistline. Henny trying to take mine, gon' take 9.
Hey, I'ma come through with the whole clip, though. You might catch more than just nod.
You realize that like as great as your career is in and of itself, how crazy it is that like you were straight making music with legends when they were children.
Children.
Like that's like for I know this sounds I know that even saying this was going to make people's heads explode because you can't even say this. But to kids coming up now, this is like you had music in the stash with Big and like Pac when they were kids.
Literally, bro.
And I know that the kid people our age are like, what? Everything is only what it was to us. And listen, I get it. Biggie's, I think, maybe the greatest rapper of all time. I understand that. But in terms of the youth, like the kids right now who are 16, 17 years old, the impact that Mac Miller and Nipsey Hussle had on that generation of rap fans, the fact that you have songs with them as kids, it's crazy.
And it gets better because we could add another one of the greatest rappers of all time in this era, but he's still alive.
Thank God. Which one? There's a bunch.
Kendrick Lamar.
Kendrick? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm probably like outside of ASAP Rocky and Jay-Z. I'm the only one to have 2 verses 2 songs with Kendrick. I think we got like 3. I think it's like another one that's like just randomly lost. It's like me, him, J Rock, and Crit. Like we did at like a random ass studio. But yeah, I think I'm like, correct me if I'm wrong, because I can't think of another New York artist outside of Rocky and Jay-Z that have multiple Kendrick Lamar features.
Jay-Z has multiple?
Yeah. He did the Don't Blow My Vibe. No, wait, he only got one.
He got on Don't Kill My
He
Vibe.
got on that. Yeah. So, well, let's just say Rocky. And just so happens we both from Harlem. That's ill. Kendrick was up to something with that one. I didn't even think about that one.
How many records do you have with Rocky?
2. I was the one that gave Rocky. Oh, that's another one. I gave Rocky his first feature, Four Loko. That was Rocky's coming out party.
There it is, Four Loko official video. I love all these official videos which don't look official at all.
It was so low budget.
They all say official video. It's like, really? Because what do you mean by the word official? It's the only one.
It's only one.
I don't know what else makes it like official, but there's a camera. Let's hear.
That's funny because everybody says that.
Let's see the official Four Loko video. This is a step in the real direction of a video.
Yeah. What a terrible error. And this was bad promotion for me because I didn't even think Four Lokos. I just named the song Four Loko because I thought it was crazy.
Straight logo. So think twice when you cross my path, cause frontin' on this is a no-go. I said a no-go. Told John the bozo. To go against my word, just take it from me cause I know so. No thought.
Like, why are you hitting so many ahs on this?
It was such a weird era, P.
You're really going full Master P on this record.
Yeah,
Is that Riverside Park?
Yes, it is.
Track we were roped off. Call me Polo Young. Just a motherfucking low sport. Kick that shit like none other. Rearrange a deal, need no mother. Trying to get drunk as a fish tonight. Holla at my homeboy Joe Scudder. Straight shots, I don't need no ice in it. Got me talking reckless all night.
Shout out Joe Scudder.
I did shout out Joe Scudder. Wow. That's my guy right there. I love Joe Scudder.
It's more Twitter rap friends.
That's definitely another Twitter rap friend.
I'm sitting high. I'm sipping slow. I'm getting high, but I'm sipping slow. Mouth full of gold. I got hella hoes. I'm that Harlem motherfucker with that mellow flow.
And you have joints with Q, right?
For sure.
No, you don't have a J. Cole record.
No, I love Colo. Every time we see each other, we always fucking chat for a long time.
You have Snoop records.
Definitely have a Snoop record.
You have Cam.
Definitely got a bunch of Cam records. I put Cam and ASAP on the same record. Did that even happen again?
No, that never happened.
Yeah, I think that's the only time that happened.
Yeah, you do. I throw this around with a few people. I'm not going to lie, but you do have a lot of hip hop Forrest Gump, you know?
Bro, I think, I like to call myself the Bill Murray.
You just pop up in every. Yeah, it's a good. You know what? I like that.
Bill Murray, man. I just, why do I have a random picture of me, Kanye, and Dame? Like, I'm just like, where I'm in like the middle of the conversation. Like, it's just mad weird. It's like my daughter even asked, like, Daddy, is that a real picture? I'm like, yes, that's a real picture.
Wait, how old are your kids now?
15.
Do they think you're cool? They think you're cool.
They think I'm the coolest ever. That they hide me from their friends. Like, they don't even want their friends to like know what's going on. My daughter she doesn't like favoritism. My sons, they love it. My daughter, she's like, I don't want special treatment. Like, I just want to be regular. But I'm like, the baby, you should probably embrace the special treatment because I work hard for you to have special treatment. So if your teachers understand what's going on, take the special treatment, baby. That's just a nod to your parents, like. but I appreciate her. She just wants to she just wants to be a regular kid. She don't even want the favoritism.
That's when did they start thinking you were cool? Did they always think you were cool, or they got to an age where they started being like, "Oh, dad's cool"?
I think once they turned teenagers and they really started to like dive into the internet, and then I would hear them talk amongst each other, like to ask me questions and shit. So then I started to notice that they were starting to be hip with what was going on. Like, oh, and then now they just do they follow me on Instagram, so I can't shake it. Like all my kids are they're all on Instagram. They're the first people that look at my stories. So I don't never post anything crazy. They search me on YouTube. They Google me. They know everything going on. So
You really you've done a really great job though. I mean, besides the only problem you would have had is if you were somehow trying to manage them from knowing that you smoke weed. But I imagine that went out the window pretty early. So
my oldest
besides
son
that,
smokes weed. I can't even do nothing about it.
your
He's
oldest does?
yeah, he smokes weed. He wants to be smoke DZA without rap.
Are you happy that it's at least without rap, or would you rather have it be with rap?
I think it's still time. I think everybody pursues something in that lane at some point. I would be shocked if he didn't, and I would really, 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 really. I mean, I love him regardless, but it would be really amazing if he never crossed that threshold. But if he does, then I'll be right there to walk him through the doors. But I'm glad that we got the relationship that we have, that I could, he knows I smoke weed and I can't be a hypocrite about it. Because when I found out he was smoking hookah, I was like, yo, bro, you smoking hookah? And he was like, yo, dad, you smoke weed. What are you talking about? And I gave him the pros on weed. And then the next thing, he left hookah alone and he just started smoking weed. So I think he mind fucked me in a weird way, but it worked. So I'm just glad that he can come to me and be like, "Here, Dad, smell
He's
it."
like, Dad, I was thinking about, I had a great idea. I was to start smoking Newports. You're like, what? No.
Yeah.
Yeah, you better take this ganja. Yo, that's wild. You got kids of that age. That's crazy. And how, how crazy is it when you see artists? I know this sounds, it sounds how it sounds, but I think it's crazy. How little interest do you have in the idea of like people who run around with their like little children trying to make them rappers and DJs and shit?
It's touchy.
It just seems like so.
It can be.
If they didn't come with but at what age can they really legitimately come to it on their own?
I think you can see it in your kid. Like you could see it in them. Like, oh, he wants to do this.
Right.
Like when they're like 5, for real.
You could know that they're
You could know that, okay, this kid is a little entertainer, and he might be on to something. Let me see what he's going to do.
And then you start paying attention.
Then you start paying attention. But I think
I'm not asking for the favor and bringing my kid up to sway when he's 5 years old, bro.
Yeah, like I think as a grown up, when like a parent starts to like embrace it, if they didn't like crack through the doors on their own at that age, I think like teenage years, like
yeah,
a kid, like then it's like, okay, my son is really. Let me see what this is. Let me
support. Save it for that. That to me, you want to save it for that. Like, unless you swear that what they're doing as a kid has never been seen, like this side of Michael Jackson, like you have an 8-year-old who's going to make people go. And I'm going to tell you this, to this day, I have not to this day ever heard a little child rap and ever been like, oh my God, I need to hear more of that. I don't know why. Singing, it can happen. Singing, you could be like, oh my God, that voice is crazy. Rap is just, they always sound like little kids trying to rap. It just doesn't, you're like, all right, cute. Let's see what you sound like when you're 16.
Right. I think it's because they have no subject matter. So the shit that they would be rapping about, if they was like living their life, would be like, oh, it's cute. Let's see what happens when you live a little, right?
Exactly.
But then when you start talking like grown up shit, and I know this is not what you're doing, it's like, all right. I get it.
The content doesn't matter because if their voice just sounds crazy, you can be amazed by their voice. It doesn't even matter what the content is.
true. You
But
think
with
it's
rap,
space for
not quite the same.
Little Bow Wow in the game right now? Like,
Is there space for a Little Bow Wow? I don't know.
we
It's so
haven't seen kids stars since then.
I mean, there have been young ass kids, but they're not like kid rappers. They're teenagers who don't play like kid rappers.
Yo, is the new Kids Bop like the drill shit? Because I think that's where like the youngest kids are coming in, like 16-year-old drill rappers. Like, I don't really know
True.
a 16-year-old rapper that's like some shit that we would appreciate right now. Like, I think it starts at like whatever age Corday is at, and then it's like it starts from there. Like, I don't even.
Corday's already like what, 22?
So I'm saying, like
24 already?
who is the young guy that's it's this kid I was just listening to the other day, man. He was like 19. Sko is, I think it's Sko. Fuck. It's
Was he
Sko.
good?
Yeah, he was nice.
And he was how old? 19, you said?
Yeah, he was 19.
Because it's crazy. Now that you look back, it feels even crazier in retrospect that someone Mac's age came out rapping on Lord Finesse. Like, that's how he was in. His idea of being introduced to the game was like, I'm gonna rap on Hip to the Game by Lord Finesse.
He was that much of a student, and that's how he impressed guys like us. Like, what does he know about this? Then when you have those conversations with him and he start telling you shit and rapping bars and shit to you, you'd be like, oh.
I don't even know how I found a way to hate on him at the beginning. It's almost impressive, but I did. He popped up because you know what used to happen? Here's what used to happen in the vlog era. You've never heard of someone, and then within 3 days, you see their video on every blog. And every once in a while, you just be like, yo, what the fuck is this, man?
Yeah.
Why are you doing this person? Why am I seeing you over and over again? I don't want to see this anymore. And it's not even with good reason at all. It's just like, I should have immediately been like, he's rapping on Lord Finesse. Now, eventually that is, within a few weeks, I came to appreciate, like, oh shit, he's rapping on Lord Finesse. That actually is pretty tight. But I remember at first I found it, you know what? I was already like Team Asher by then too. So I probably had to, like,
definitely was Team Ash at that.
I went. Yo, and by the way, man, there are so many good artists who didn't quote unquote make it to where you thought they would have. So many.
Are we counting Ash in that? Because I don't really count him in that. I think I count him. I think he kind of just took himself out the race. I feel like he eliminated himself out the Royal Rumble. I don't feel like anybody. Like, he jumped over the ropes. Like, nobody eliminated him.
Kim when she left WWE and just rolled out.
Nah, he did a Randy Savage chasing Jake the Snake up the aisle.
Oh.
Like, he just jumped over the ropes. Because I always ask myself randomly, like, why the fuck? And he's on Instagram and he's like making music.
He makes music. He teaches kids. He's doing a thing in Philly with like a rap school, basically, like teaching kids hip hop. But no, you're right. He like at some point. He had like too much working for him too fast, man. The Scooter Braun, having Scooter from the beginning it just was not where he should have been. As much of a blessing as it was at first, when you go back and look at what he ended up doing with his first album, which by the way has a few joints on it. Like, I like stuff on his first album, but the way that Scooter was trying to push it along, Scooter was capable of making a Justin Bieber, which he did 5 seconds later.
Literally.
So he tried it with Asher, and I'll never forget it though. Do you ever go to Asher's place when he had an apartment in the city, in like downtown?
Mm-mm. He used to come over to come check me and Shipes. We never went to his place.
He had a dope place downtown for a while, and I'll never forget it, sitting in his kitchen table. It was a big place downtown, low key, but like a big dope place with plenty of room to record and hang out. And I remember he was telling me about like shows that they had booked for him that he didn't want to do. And I remember saying to him right then, I was like, yo, Asher, I got to tell you, man, I work with a lot of artists who would dream to get the money you're getting offered for shows, bro. Don't go sneezing at like 10,000 to go do a show right now. Like, this isn't guaranteed forever. And the truth is, though, we were both right. I was right in that if you really want to do this shit, you can't say no to those things at that stage in your career. I really think I was right about that. But that's not who he is. Like, and that's not what makes him, like, he's happy. Like, we had him on the podcast like a year or two ago. Asher's happy and not addicted to drugs and not comparing himself to everyone else in the world. Like, he's actually just a happy person. So I think he took the path that worked for him, but I still can't help but think, I think about this sometimes. He's like probably 38 or something. I'm like, I still wonder if one day he stumbles into some producer and comes up on a joint and it becomes a thing that he pops up again, because he's got fucking skills, bro.
He does.
He can really rap his ass off. And like Mac, really was a student and loved it and cared about it. You know, like, listen, Mac's a musical genius. I think it's different. I didn't. Asher's a great rapper, though. Really, really great. And by the way, that list of freshmen, bro, Charles Hamilton, from a talent standpoint,
Charles can rap his ass off.
Bro.
Can rap his ass off.
It's crazy. In
that era.
Were you, how well did you know him?
Charles? I don't know him at all. That was one person. I think at the beginning I gave him a hard time.
You did? Why? He was from Harlem, right? Wasn't Charles from Harlem?
Yeah, I don't want to. He is. I know people that know him from there, because I'm not like trying to like wake up. I'm not trying to wake up nobody, but
right.
I think at that time in my career life, I was like, if I don't know you, you ain't from Harlem, because I'm like from Harlem for real, and I know everybody that ever fucking rap for real in Harlem, and that wasn't somebody I crossed paths with in the rap world at that time, but that was just ignorant of me. But he's definitely from Harlem. I think he went to Frederick Douglass, so he's definitely from Harlem.
It says he went to Rice High School in Harlem.
Boom. Yep. I think he went to FDA too. So yeah, he said, well, he's from Harlem. I never really had no running in with him back then, but I didn't really appreciate his shit back then. Like I said, I was hard.
No one did. A lot of the hip rapidy rap people didn't get. It was weirdo before weirdo shit was considered cool. You know what I mean? Like, he was,
yeah. That's what it was. I was looking at it with an ignorant vision.
You were not the only one, bro. By the way, so did you just put out a project with Flying Lotus and not even tell me about it?
You know, I got a habit of doing shit like that, bro. I just do it and go to the next thing. I definitely just put out a project with Flying Lotus. It's called Flying Objects.
You got a song with Black Thought on here.
Yeah. A song with Conway and a song with Estelle.
Yeah. RFC. Really? My son VL asked me if I had my tap dance shoes on. I said I'm motherfucking Gregory Hines.
You said that? Your son said that to you?
Nah, I was talking about my homie.
Okay. I was like, why'd you talk to your son? Like, that's crazy.
The week the numbers fluctuate, a couple dollars. Make sure you holler when your bucks straight. My little guala dropped out of college, shows a drug trade. Filled up his wallet, kid, acknowledge how we upgraded. It's that uptown flow that got us hated, right? It took reach to this point. The numbers so good, made 6 of each joint, right? You search for deals, I broker with farms. Locals can flow with the dawn, talking across the pond. I Boca Raton, foreign cars, got a complex. Arm stretch, 40 cal laid on the armrest for conflict. Bust down Cubans, my prom set. The charm next, push the button, playing with Congress. The wrong bet, I bomb threat. Junior hustlers,
so there's a 4-song project right now. 4? 5? 7?
5.
No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Harlem World 97 with Estelle.
Right. Yeah. Right. Real life, real type. Always been fly, never scared of heights. Ric Flair on him off the lead type. Style fresh to death in airtight cellars. Four base me swing for defenses. She had Ventress. I smell like opportunity in the vintage. Clean as an infant, right from the entrance. Whole lot of interest. I think I might holler. She think I'm too proud, but I'm thinking more prouder. Baby, I'm Gucci, little G's on the collar. I don't do shrooms, no chicken masala. Bring more pie, more G's, more commas. Catch a conversation with me all about $1. Baby, let me school you. I'm your alma mater. First date on the flight, we be back tomorrow.
When it's raining, take me out. Let's go swimming.
What a bop this is. What a late summer, early fall bop.
You feel me?
I hope my whole life's enough for you. Got a whole lot of love for you.
I'm at this Dade County joint, call her Miss Miami. Told model girlfriends, call her Bambi. I was in my Teresa.
Yo, isn't it crazy how much better a rapper you are at your age now than you were when you were, quote, young?
Man.
Is youth, boy, is youth wasted on the young or whatever. I mean, it's so wasted, bro. Like people just, it's crazy. You know, like another Harlemite who I think about all the time with this is Jimmy.
Bro,
it's like
he's getting better and better every time I hear him rap.
Every time I hear him rap, I'm like, this has now been like 5 straight years where he just like keeps becoming one of the best rappers. And like, I guess there's a certain element of it. Obviously, natural ability is a thing, but there's a certain element of just it's practice, bro. It's 10,000 hours.
Man.
Like, it's wild. Speaking of which, you know who else dropped in the last couple of weeks? Who is it was right around your age and continues to just get fucking better and better?
Who?
This motherfucker.
Yo, if it wasn't for rapping the mono beats, I would just listen to mono beats all the time, yo. Sometimes I gotta get up and rap. I start feeling lazy. I start feeling like I'm not doing my part. I just heard my hero say some nonsense. That's alright, I'll be my own hero. Thankful for all that he has given me. Save all the negativity for numbers that's below 0. People get mad, cause I don't yes sir, yes ma'am. I'm not the yes man. Behind the post and the blog, I'm just trying to do whatever bring me closer to God. Me and Jesus will be peas in a pod. Life is so exciting. I wake up writing first thing in the morning. Finding comfort outside of the norm is where knowledge is born. No more clutching in my palm in front of porn. I thought that was not a problem. It wasn't calm before the storm. Storm's over, sun's shining, and this is showing any signs of subsiding. Ducking interference toward the swapping out the fear and infighting for cheering good tidings. Or off top, off the rip.
Yo, Sandman in his older age.
Sandman, bro. Oh my god,
bro, he's so comfortable with songs, just going. He'll literally like just pause, but like, yeah, like he'll just he's so comfortable in the process now. This is the same thing with both of you guys on those 2 songs. Both were sort of odd tempos. And in both cases, you guys at this stage of your career have so much comfort that early on is like, for a lot of people, so effortful. Like they're so like searching for it all the time. And it's so crazy. Reverse of that, we interviewed Cardi today, who's dropping a single Friday, right? And I think it's not like it's like a known thing that Cardi is like hesitant to drop, right? Like, doesn't that? It's an inferred thing that everyone can tell.
Yeah,
she's hesitant to drop.
Yeah,
and I said to her, I was like, "Are you just like worried you're not gonna like hit like you did on Invasion of Privacy?" Because like I just told her, I was like, everyone loves you. Like, just drop. Like, what do you do? This isn't that. And I wonder if it's reverse for someone like her who found it so quickly when she hadn't done anything, right? Like she did a mixtape. She was famous on the internet. And then her and Brooklyn Johnny and Partisan Fontaine and whoever put together this first album in which everything works. Like it just all works.
Connect. Mm-hmm.
And then maybe it's reverse. You get less comfortable as time goes on because now you're constantly trying to think of what you need to do. When I'm just like, to me, it's so obvious when you spend any time around her, she's so fucking likable. You're like, just get on the record and be Cardi. Like, everyone fucks with you. It's so, like, I told her, I was like, every feature you have like becomes my girl's favorite song. That's like, and every time you listen to that song, all due respect, whether it's Lotto, Glorilla, whoever it is, you're waiting for Cardi's part. It's always what she does.
She always got a quotable in there or 3.
Always. And I've always said this from the very beginning, because again, I know the hip hop nerds who listen to Juan Ep are choking on their Epion, you know, but like Cardi is not the world's greatest rapper, but her vocal booth performance ability, like, you know how like when you win a Grammy, it's like the best performance, best recorded performance. Her ability for recorded performance is fucking incredible.
Incredible.
You go back and listen to Be Careful, and she didn't even know how to rap yet. She's brand new.
Be careful with me. I think I like her flow because her speech impediment on certain words.
Yep.
And
New York accent.
New York accent, and she's just unapologetically herself. Like, I really appreciate her shit. Like, I look at her in the same vein, with no disrespect, because I already know, of a Nicki, of a Foxy, of a Kim, of a Remy, like the queens.
Oh no, even with just the one album under her belt, it's
amongst the elite. I mean,
she's done it on a level. It was interesting talking to her, because when the interview comes out, you'll be able to see it. Like, you can see her hesitance, like her hesitancy. She, even when we ask her to like say when is the album coming out, she's hesitant. And I'm just like, what I didn't get to say and I wanted to say was like, yo, shoot, even if you brick on album 2, you've got a classic album worth of features now over the last 5 years. You can brick. You can miss on an album and drop again. Like, you don't need to think that everything, because like Invasion of Privacy just did so well and was so well received.
Yeah,
it's amazing how different people's careers are, bro. Like, there are just some people who, in the WWE locker room, bro, I'm talking to one person who's like in his 30s, 37, I think, and just starting to get opportunities. And then you got other people who might be 23 and it's all happening for them right now. You know what I mean? Like, Rhea Ripley is killing it right now.
Right now. Mm-hmm.
And it happened basically from the second she showed up. I knew like this is happening soon. Like, she's
money.
She is, from the second you see her, you're like, oh, this person is money. Yeah. And then there are other people, bro. You know how old the cats in LWO are?
Mm-hmm. Outside of Ray, of course. Santos Escobar is what, 25?
Santos Escobar, no. Santos Escobar is 39.
Okay, shout out to Santos. We're the same age.
Joaquin Wilde is 36. That's who I was talking to the other day. 36, bro. And he told me a great story. I got to interview him now because he told me a great story. He tried every year to get on with WWE, and every year he'd hear back and be like, "We're good. We're gonna pass." and then he reached out one year. He got the we're gonna pass. I think it was William Regal. We appreciate it. We're gonna pass. Like 5 minutes later, he ended up getting a call that AEW was interested. Within like a day, he now has offers from AEW and WWE and gets to pick what he's going to do. Ended up going WWE, and now he's in the LWO. But even him, like, he's 36 and grinding it out. Like, LWO is not on TV all the time, and, Zelina Vega gets a lot of mic time, but not the guys don't get that much, to do. They're still grinding it out. And then you could look across the room and see Dominic Mysterio, who's becoming a
back on him.
What? And he's in the zone. There's everything he does is right.
Yeah, he's killing it. He's killing it.
it's just so it's amazing. It's like in rap too. And by the way, I see it in media too. Like I still feel like I'm the kind of person who hasn't hit what my most known thing is even going to be. And then I see other people who are 26, 25 millionaires off of TikTok or, you know, their YouTube show. They got this deal. And I'm like, oh, I don't even think I've done great, but I don't even think I found my thing yet.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
And we all have these different paths. You just have to have faith in what your path is going to be. It's wild though, bro.
Wow.
You're happy, you're doing well, generally?
Oh man, I'm doing amazing. I'm happy. I'm working. I'm reinvigorated. Fourth quarter is here. Dropped early. I'm definitely gonna drop again before the ball drops. I'm happy I got to put out a project like the beginning of the fourth quarter, like September 1st.
Are you in Flying Lotus gonna do any shows or do anything?
Yeah, we actually we did Afro Punk about 2 weeks ago in New York.
Dope.
He headlined and I just had an impromptu performance in his set. He bought me out. I was like a thrill. And I'm pretty sure we'll do some more. I think we'll probably we'll definitely do some more.
Thank you, Smokey. This was fun. Let me know when you want to do it again.
Man, you know I always want to do this shit, man. On any show, it's always fun.
You the fill-in for Cipha. You're about to just be the Cipha fill-in.
Hey, look, man, please, man. I want to be the fill-in somewhere, man. I've been waiting to be tagged in, man. I've been on the apron waiting for the hot tag for years.
You can do interviews too. Like I'm about to bring you in, bro.
You know, I'm good at this shit, man. Come on, when are you gonna come do my podcast? This is actually what I was setting up to do. I said, hold on, let me do this with Peter first, and then we can do this. But when are you coming to the personal party, man?
I will come to the personal party whenever you want.
Okay. All right.
Within the next couple of weeks, let's do it.
Okay, perfect. That's all I needed to hear.
All right, my brother.
My brother.
Peace, Smoke.
Peace, bro.